Do you want to know how to set your team up on a match day? We'll take you through the top 5-a-side formations to help your team on a Sunday. Stay tuned. Let's get straight into the reason that you're here. Formations for your team. Formation number 1 is the 1-2-1 or diamond formation. This formation is great for encouraging kids to play out from the back. The diamond formation has lots of strengths. It's got width, it's got length and depth, which is why it's such a commonly used formation in kids football. When the ball starts with the keeper, the wingers push out towards the touchlines and offer as much width as possible. The defensive player opens up a small angle to receive the ball from the keeper, and the forward can either drop into midfield to receive the ball and turn, or if the opponent has a high defensive line, the forward can even try and run in behind. Now, with every formation, despite its strengths, they all have their weaknesses, and this formation can be difficult to play out of possession. As much as it's a great formation for you to play when you have the ball, it's very difficult for kids to employ when you don't have the ball. As with any formation that provides width, it can leave you a little exposed in the middle. So to combat this, it's very important that your defensive player understands that in possession, the higher up the pitch that he can go into the midfield, the more support he gives when you lose the ball. On the flip side of that, if their goalkeeper or their defenders have the ball and it's in the opponent's half of the pitch, the striker can drop in to create a third midfielder, which again gives you more solidity in the middle of the pitch. Formation number 2 is the 2-2 or the block formation. This formation offers real defensive compactness. It's very difficult to play through, and it makes sure that your opposing team have to play into wide areas, reducing their chances of scoring. This formation is great for teams where you know that you're playing against a difficult team, a team that's got a good, strong attack. You don't want to be caught on counter-attacks, and you definitely don't want them to find their way through the middle of the pitch easily. So use the block formation, make sure that they have to play into wide areas, and reduce their chances of scoring goals by coming straight down the middle of the pitch. This formation, like all others, does have its weaknesses. You will find sometimes that you will be camped out in your own half and find it difficult to pose an attacking threat. If you do opt for the block formation, I would always recommend that your 2 furthest forward players are good counter-attackers. They need to have pace and legs to get forward. They also need to understand that when they win the ball back, they have to break quickly. The only way that you're going to be able to get out of that defensive area when you win the ball is to attack quick and make sure you punish the opponent. If your team doesn't have fast counter-attacking players, I wouldn't use this formation. You will get stuck in your own half, you'll find it hard to impose yourself in the game and offer an attacking threat. So remember, only use it if you've got the pace to break. Formation number 3 is the 2-1-1, or the target man formation. This shape is a great blend of defensive solidity with an attacking threat. It requires 2 defensive players who hold their position and understand the defensive principles. The attacking player has to be good at holding up the ball. I would recommend either a physically strong player or a skillful player, but it has to be a player that when the ball does go up to the target man, you can hold on to it long enough for support to arrive and help him out. The forward passes that go into your target man cannot go to waste, so make sure you put the right player in that role that can hold up the ball. The midfield position requires a lot of running. You have to get forward and support your target man, but also have to track back and do the defensive yards to make sure you protect your centre-backs. Make sure you choose a player that has the stamina and the legs to get up and down the pitch, otherwise you'll get caught out and exposed. This shape does lack width. The defenders can't provide it, and nor can the midfielder. The striker can make run into channels to try and provide width, but obviously a wide striker is going to struggle to score goals. If you're playing against a team that play a very wide formation, such as the diamond, it can be really difficult to press the ball in those wide areas and keep your shape. So I wouldn't recommend using this formation if you play a team that have got good wingers. To coach formations and shapes, divide your pitch into sections. For instance, if you're doing a diamond formation, make sure you have 2 wide areas that your wingers can then operate in. Make sure you have a deep defensive third of the pitch so your centre-back knows where to be and when to be there, and make sure you have a high attacking area marked out so that your striker knows to keep the length of the formation. Ask each player to fill their area when the ball goes out of play. This reset will help build match memories for the kids. Before you know it, they'll be taking up positions without you even having to ask. And once every kid understands their role, your formation will work much better. To split the pitch up into the different sections for those roles, I like to use spot markers. They're easy to put down and don't cause any kind of obstacles for the kids while the game's going on. These sections that you mark out on the pitch are not solid areas, and kids can transfer across from area to area as the game goes on. But every time the ball goes out of play for a goal kick or a corner or a throw-in, it's great to get them to reset back into those areas to understand their shape. So there you go, there's my 3 favourite five-a-side formations. Remember, no one formation is ever perfect, and it relies on your players, their attributes and their strengths. So make sure you set up a formation that plays to your team's strengths, and don't stick with the formation if it's not working. Try an alternative. But that doesn't mean you should give up on a formation just because you tried it once and it didn't work. Try all players in all positions within that formation before you completely write it off. You'd be surprised how many kids can play fantastic in a wide area that aren't as good in central areas, or a target man that can hold the ball up but is also useful as a defender. Don't forget to like and share this video with anybody who you think might find it useful, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content coming soon. See you next time.